Hey, people, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Can y'all believe it's already September 23rd? It seems so crazy, right? In a minute, I'm going to be saying Merry Christmas and then I'm going to be saying Happy New Year. It's just crazy, right? But anywho, listen, I'm glad y'all stopped by to hang out with me tonight. I see y'all out there. Make sure as you come in the building, you hit that like button, okay? It helps the diva out. But tonight's trending topics, the title is called Forgive. Can we forgive? Do we truly forgive? Shall we forgive? All of these stories we're about to talk about, we're going to answer the question, can forgiveness happen? Now, y'all know I'm not a sports girl over here. I look at the sports. I know some of the players in some of the different leagues, but I don't know it all. But I often say to myself, whether it's little league or the professional league, I don't care if it's football, basketball, I don't care if it's the Olympics, the people are a little bit too aggressive. And I think the aggression starts in the childhood in these sports. So a high school football player, he tackled somebody from the opposing team. And after he tackled him and already had him down, he belly flops on him. And the kid's spine was broken or fractured in two different places. You already had this man down. You a big guy. And you thought in your head it was a good idea to belly flop on the guy that was on the ground. You can't make this stuff up. Now they're calling for suspension, ban, all kinds of other stuff. But my thing is, this is what you teach them. You teach them violence. They curse out referees. They curse out the other team when they lose. They're overly aggressive. And with this football, I think, too many knocks to the head and they ain't right no more. He on the ground and you decides to belly flop him. We're going to talk about it. Then you know what? Which I think was really smart, because to keep him in jail, a few people wrote some letters. Cassie, I forgot who else wrote a letter to say he's dangerous. That Diddy was dangerous. Don't let him out. So they got the typing, writing, and sending a note to the judge. But now he got over 70 people that send a note to the judge and say, give him another chance. Are we not into forgiveness? In Young Miami, the people was asking where she was during the court case. Well, she showed up now because Young Miami said he's a good man, Savannah. Told that judge he's a good man. Let him free. All the kids wrote a letter. Mama Combs wrote a letter. His sister that we don't never see, hear from enough, and she wrote a letter too. And I think I'm seeing different messages. I believe Stevie J wrote a letter too. Yeah, they got the writing. And he said for the first time in 25 years, good gosh, oh my. The first time in 25 years, he said he's sober. But see, I told y'all, I said him not getting that bail, it happened for him and not to him. Now I ain't no psychic. I don't see things, whatever the case may be. But I told you my high level thought was if he would have got bail, he would have never shown up in that courtroom sober every day. And why can I connect those dots and come to that conclusion? Because the man knew he was turning himself in. He came to New York with freak off materials and some substances. So I don't think that he would have went home and all of a sudden been showing up to court every day sober. So he needed to stay behind bars because I don't think he would have been able to say that he's sober. Because according to his lawyers, he was in a treatment program before he even came to turn himself in. But out of his mouth, not mine, this ain't deeper words, out of his mouth, he said for the first time in 25 years, he's sober. To God be the glory. We're going to talk about it. Now we're going to talk about this couple also from the Coldplay concert where she was married, he was married. They were together at the concert without their spouses, and they was hugged up. And when the kiss cam came around and spotted on them, they ducked, they hid, they ran, they covered up. I sometimes, I don't know, do the general public think everybody is just stupid? Do they think we're all just stupid? Now a friend of hers is coming out saying she's having a hard time, that we got the situation wrong. We, the public, got the situation wrong. She's at a concert with her boss. She's still married. They're hugged up. The kiss cam comes on them, and they're trying to tell us now that it was all innocent. Why'd you duck and hide? I ain't never been hugged up on no boss that I ever had in my whole entire life. Yeah, you may give a hug. How you doing? Good morning. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. But I'm not going to be, come on now, thank you to that for the words. I'm not going to be at the concert with my boss boot up. I love it when y'all give me the words to use. I ain't going to be at the concert with my boss boot up. So now the friend is coming out saying that they was just friends, and that they was at the concert with a whole bunch of other friends, and that her husband was also at the concert with somebody else, and they've been separated for months and living separately. And all of that would have been fine, girlfriend, with one simple problem. The man you was hugged up with is still married, and he was living with his wife. You know, in some states, when you're separated, you can't even date someone else while you're separated if you were legally married. I personally think until the courts say y'all are divorced, you shouldn't be in nobody else's face. They shouldn't be in nobody else's face. Y'all should chill until the paperwork is signed, sealed, and delivered. Or else, guess what happens? This situation right here. So the friend feeling all sorry for her because she said all of these memes are going on around about her. People are calling her a home wrecker. You know, the friend is feeling bad for her. And who wouldn't feel bad for their friend? But sometimes you got to look your friend in the eye and say, suck it up, buttercup, because you got yourself in this situation. Now come to my house. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to make sure you eat. I'm going to make sure you keep your head up for the kids. But you can't be mad at the public for judging you for what they saw, because that's what the public do. And if you didn't want the public in your business, you should have took a page out of a cheating book from old school. You know, this new cheating manual that's going around is tainted. The old school cheating manual was, you are to be not seen and not heard. I'll meet you down at the Motel 6. We're going to do what we do. You leave out the back door. I leave out the front door. You don't ever talk to my wife, approach my wife. Don't ask me if I'm about to leave my wife. You mind your business and I mind mine. And I'll see you when I see you. But the manual they got out now about cheating, you call the wife, you curse out the wife, you beat up the wife, you in the wife's DMs, you calling the wife's phone, and you showing up disrespectful to the wife's house. And we supposed to feel sorry for you? Why? In the name of Nene Leakes, close your legs to marry men. So can I forgive her? Yeah. Come on now, Wayne, the side piece rules. But you know, this new thing with the social media day and age, the side pieces be acting like they the main chick and they lose their natural mind. The side pieces be coming for the main chick. They do. Just like I'm still not feeling right about what happened to this young mother in front of her son's school. But if you want to lay down and hang out in a concert with a married man, well, you're going to suffer the consequences. Don't nothing good come out of being the side chick, and I don't care what nobody say. And maybe 1 out of 1,000, the man ends up with the side chick after. 1 out of 1,000. You want to play with those odds? Because here she is. He not suffering. He good. Wherever he's at, you ain't hear a word from him. His friends ain't speaking on his behalf. He's good. You over there suffering. They at your school taking pictures of you, calling you a home wrecker and all of that. Ain't it a mess? But you got yourself into that mess. He would have asked me to that concert. I would be like, no, I'm good. Send me the pictures when you get back. But no, you play stupid games and now you got a stupid prize and your kids are suffering too. And so she claims that her husband was at a concert with another chick. Well, your estranged husband, he could have saved you. That tells you how much he cared about you too. Because he could have saved you and he could have came out and said, look, I can't speak to my wife being with somebody else's husband at this concert. But I will tell you loud and clear that we were separated, not together, not living together, about to get a divorce. And I was also at the concert with somebody else. But no, he's somewhere quiet, living his best life. And where you at? You jobless? I don't know where in the world you're going to get a job at now. Everybody is going to be thinking, looking at you like you a side chick that's going to take their husband. Got the scarlet letters on your back. You need a remote job. Maybe you could block. I don't know, girlfriend. And maybe, because the husband got money, maybe he'll give you a nice package that will last you for 10 years. And then you dye your hair a different color. You move to a different state. You go back to your maiden name. And you hope the next time you apply for a job or do something, nobody recognizes you. That's Diva's thoughts. But we'll get the thoughts of the panel. So listen, I done talked enough. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Tuesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Forgive, okay? So are we going to forgive this high school student who his big behind belly flopped on the opponent that was down, man down, and you belly flopping on him? Are we supporting Diddy? Should he be set free on October 3rd? In this Coldplay concert, do you understand this chick's side? I got to fix her name. I spelled the name wrong. I'll fix it later. Anyway, let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, listen, let's get right into this football player. It's egregious. But I'm telling you, these sports, something different has to happen with these sports. And I mean like yesterday. It's bad. Let me share a screen. We're going to take a look.
This video making the rounds online all weekend
after a horrific on-field physical encounter during a high school football game. Tonight, we're getting reaction from the mother of the student who was injured. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Jessica Harthorn. A Lakeshore junior varsity player fractured his spine after he was intentionally jumped on by a Kalamazoo Central High School player. We're also hearing from the schools and the Michigan High School Athletic Association.
And News Channel 3's Carter Landis joining us now live. And Carter, we also have the full video of that incident tonight.
Yeah, we do, Andy. It started as a normal play, but it took a bad turn after the whistle blew. This video has gone viral for its violent nature, and we want to warn you, if you haven't seen it, you might find it disturbing. In the third quarter of Kalamazoo Central and Lakeshore's junior varsity game last Thursday, a 15-year-old Lancers defensive lineman was seriously injured. This is video from the player's mother. In it, it shows a Kalamazoo Central offensive lineman wearing number 73 jumping on top of the player. Our sister station, WSBT 22, spoke with the mother who was horrified seeing it happen to her son.
First was like, is that my son? And as soon as it clicked that it was, I couldn't be stopped. I had to go down there. I've never felt anything like it. I've never been as upset or shaken up as I was over something for my son.
Mim's son is out of the hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. His mother says he will miss the rest of the football season and may not play football again. Lakeshore Schools Superintendent Greg Eating sending a letter to the community in response to the incident, saying in part, quote, "The incident, which was captured on video and shared widely on social media and across media outlets, is totally unacceptable and has no place in student athletics. The superintendent of Kalamazoo Public Schools has apologized for the incident and applied serious disciplinary consequences to their student athlete consistent with its student policies and code of conduct." We're also hearing from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. They released a statement saying, quote, "Kalamazoo Central has taken this matter very seriously and they have taken strong and decisive action. Due to student privacy laws, we cannot disclose the specific accountability actions, but they have exceeded what MHSAA regulations would otherwise require in cases of dangerous and unsportsmanlike behavior." Now we're hearing from KPS as well, who says in part, quote, "This type of behavior is unacceptable and does not reflect the values of sportsmanship, respect, and integrity that Kalamazoo Public Schools expects from student athletes, coaches, and the entire school community." They also say the player has been disciplined, but did not specify the punishment. In studio, Carter Landis, News Channel 3.
They ain't specify the what happened, because you know why? Because he's still on that team and he probably suited up for the next game. Hold on one second. So Michigan High School takes strong and decisive action against football player who fractured opponent's spine in the game. A Michigan High School took strong and decisive action after the disturbing video showed a junior varsity football player pancaking an opponent much smaller than him. An official with the state's High School Athletics Association said on Monday. At the Central High School football player jumped on top of his opponent at the tail end of the play during a game against Lakeshore High School on Thursday. The mother of the 15-year-old player told a local Michigan TV station that her son suffered 2 spinal fractures. Our staff has been speaking with both schools since Friday. Kalamazoo Central has taken this matter very seriously, and they have taken strong and decisive action, the Michigan High School Athletics Association told Fox News Digital. Due to student privacy laws, we can't disclose the specific accountability actions, but they have exceeded what the association regulations would otherwise require in cases of dangerous and unsportsmanlike behavior. Never said he was suspended. Our schools can provide additional details as they decide to do so, since they are handling things internally. Kalamazoo Public Schools provided a statement to Fox News later Monday. An incident that occurred during the Central High School junior varsity football game on September 19 was the action of an individual student who displayed an egregious act against a player on the opposing team, the Kalamazoo Public Schools said. This type of behavior is unacceptable and does not reflect the values of sportsmanship, respect, and integrity that Kalamazoo Public Schools expects from student athletes, coaches, and the entire school community. Officials said the student received consequences consistent with the Kalamazoo Public School Student Code of Conduct and in compliance with Michigan High School Athletic Association regulations. Fox News Digital reached out to Lakeshore officials for a comment. Lakeshore Public School Superintendent Greg Eaton sent a letter to students, staff, and family about the incident. Following the play, a Kalamazoo Central student body slammed a Lakeshore student who was laying on the ground. This incident was an intentional, unprovoked, and flagrant violation of the rules and appropriate sports conduct and resulted in an injury to one of our Lakeshore student athletes, the letter read. We wish the Lakeshore student a speedy recovery, and we are in regular communication with his family regarding this matter. We also have put in place supportive measures to ensure our student athlete can continue his education while he recovers. The incident, which was captured on video and shared widely on social media across media outlets, is totally unacceptable and has no place in student athletics. The superintendent of Kalamazoo Public Schools has apologized for the incident and applied serious disciplinary consequences to their student athlete consistent with his students' policies and code of conduct. Following the incident, both varsity teams came together before their game on September 19 to say a prayer for the injured student and a showcase of sportsmanship and compassion. The player who was on the receiving end of the tackle was identified as Colton by his mother, Courtney Mims. She told the News in Michigan that the play left her 15-year-old son with 2 fractures in his spine. As soon as it clicked that it was, I couldn't be stopped. I had to go down there. I never felt anything like it. I never been as upset or shaken up as I was over something for my son, she told the station on Friday. These boys are high school boys. They're 15 years old. The game means a lot to them. It's their whole life right now. They're there from before I get up to work in the morning till after dinner, putting in work. And for somebody to try to take that from somebody doing so much is awful for me to see. She said that her son was finished for the season and was expected to make a full recovery. Men's post on Facebook thanked those offering prayers. She wrote that players from Kalamazoo Central reached out to her to apologize. This truly brought me to tears and has helped remind me that one player's actions does not, in fact, reflect an entire team and hasn't in all regards, she wrote. We stand with the right side and are thankful to everyone in this community and extending that are behind us and continue to share the story. The Kalamazoo Central player wasn't identified. Lakeshore school officials told the station that it was working with the other school about the situation. Listen, you know what's interesting, and I'm not saying they needed to say this kid's name, but I don't know if y'all remember the story where the young athletes, it was 2 girls, they was running track, and one bust the other one upside the head with the baton. Both of those was underage, and they had that girl name all over the screen, but I'll carry on. Julius, your thoughts on this situation?
Diva, we on the same train because they sure enough dragged that one girl straight through the mud. So my thought is this. Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. The child who was victimized is gonna think, even if he wants to go back and play football, if he gets tackled again, is his spine gonna go out of place? If he has, from the opposite team, someone who is above his weight class, it's always going to be in the back of his mind. It's going to be like a PTSD type of effect. And I find it suspicious how they say, oh, the discipline can't be specified. We can't say what the punishment is. But Diva, didn't we just do a story where a young man saved a whole entire school and he can't go back to school? And they're dragging him through the mud?
Well, you better talk about it.
So if we're going to have a conversation, let's really have a conversation. So it appears to me that The little brat that caused the injury. Oh, excuse me. I apologize for poor language. No, I don't. The little brat is still on the team, still playing because he's probably a star player for the team. And they don't want to penalize or discipline their star player. I have family members who play football, and they always gave me the runaround. And this reeks of cover up, if you ask me. But that's just my thoughts.
Thank you. 48, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva, panel chat. Okay, so me, um, I think that the football player who caused the injury, he definitely knows better. Anybody that has a student in school, especially high school, before they start the sports, you have a meeting with all the coaches, you meet all the other parents. It's a requirement that all the students be there, and they tell you exactly what they expect. Here in Houston now, they have a rule where at football games you can't even boo the other team. Like everything has to be um like positive in Cypher ISD where my kids go. To me, the young man that caused the injury, he needs to not play football ever again in high school, not in college, and definitely not professional. I'm telling you that this is safety in football is a requirement of knowledge that these boys have to have in order to play. They sign documentation saying they understand the rules, they understand the game. So it's no excuse for him. I hope that the mother, they need to make an example because the sport is really a rough sport. And no, it's not for everybody, but the people that want to participate in it, they need to know the responsibilities. He needs to be punished. Period. Not just like kicked out of school, but paying for that boy's his family, paying for that boy's medical. That young man, like Julia said, any athlete, just any athlete, football, baseball, soccer, track, once you get injured to where they have to go and do surgery, it's always in your mind that you could get hurt again. And when you get hurt again, it's even worse. And your doctors and your physical therapists, they let you know that. Like when my son got injured, the doctor didn't want to pass him for his physical. He gave my son 2 weeks to go to the specialist, make sure everything was okay before he could continue to play. It's just absolutely egregious. He needs to be punished.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Wayne, your thoughts?
I agree with 48 somewhat. I think he needs to be punished, but I think he's 15. I know he know better. Big kid. Looked like he was trying to wrestle or something. But he definitely don't need to be playing be playing football if they take him out a year and tell him now you got the opportunity to be the smartest kid in the school because you don't have to do no practicing for football. All you gonna have time to do is study. No more football. You can't assume, you know what I'm saying? You can't get blood from a turnip, you know. Ain't no sense in the boy going to jail, you know. You can't sue him. Maybe they could make the family pay the medical bills or something like that. But he has to learn. Okay. And I still think there's opportunity that this boy can be a productive member of society, look back on this and look how stupid he was. And maybe be telling some other kids, oh, I used to blow up, I did things like this, and I was wrong. So that's what I think needs to happen. No, he don't need to miss no classes. The thing he wants to do is play football and take away the thing that he wants to do. That's it.
Katrina?
Hey Devo, hey panel, hey chat. Um, I came from we have a family of football players, and me myself personally, I do not like the sport. Actually, I was telling this to Wayne today that how they would use, if your child get in trouble or whatsoever in school, they would keep that child in school suspension so they could play football, so they can win, especially if they winning the games. And that, like I was telling my daughter, I said they're using your child. You know, he would be in after um, lunchtime. He'd eat a Rice Krispie treat, and I guess the sweets get to him, and he in the hallway doing backflips or whatsoever. But instead of them calling her, that he would give the phone number to call me. And the thing of it is, like I told my daughter, I'm like, if he's in trouble, he need to be suspended or doing what he need to do instead of them keeping him in school and playing football because he was winning the games for them. And it's sad. And I had a person on this panel, which I love to tell me because he had ended up breaking his arm because he's playing at the YMCA. And she told me you can't let them be on that level because if he's at the level that he is, people will try to take him out. Because that's what they do. They go for the best player on the team and they try to hurt that player. Now I don't know if that little boy was the best person on the team, but they would do something to hurt the best player of a team. And he belly flopping like he in the WWE, which is totally ridiculous. I mean, like that was just a stupid move. Yes, he's a child, but that was just totally stupid. That was stupid. I mean, like, what you thought you was gonna do? You belly flopped him. This is not wrestling. This is crazy. And I think that he need to be taken out a couple of what they probably gonna do is hold him out some games and let him play later on, or keep him from 2 or 3 games, and he'll still be put on the team. Because if he's winning scores for them, they're gonna do everything they can to keep him there. But I don't know if they still do this. But when kids is in these sports, they normally have to take out like insurance. They used to have to take out policies and stuff in case somebody get hurt if they ain't have no medical insurance or whatsoever. So I don't know if they still doing that or not, but that's what they used to do. But and I feel sorry for the little boy that got hurt because nobody deserved that. But y'all playing a rough sport. You can get hit one good time and you out of there. You can be paralyzed. That's why you need to get your lessons, get your education, because those games is not guaranteed for everybody. Because anybody can have an injury. You can tear your ACL. You tear your ACL, it's over with. So I mean, I'd rather for them to get an education and do play because I feel like football, they've been used as cattle. And once the cattle is done, they take them out the pasture or they take them to the stockyard. So I just want them to think better and don't try to hurt your teammates. But that's what they do if that child's a pretty good player. They try to go for the best player so they can take them out. But speed. I hope he have a speedy recovery, and like we said, I hope that guy get the punishment that he needs to get. That's all I got.
Yeah, any sport you can get hurt. You can get hurt in basketball, whatever the case may be. But this was on purpose, and personally, I got a major problem with it. You already tackled him for the tackle, and then you belly flop on him. He needs to suffer some consequences. And because they kept playing around with the words, my thought process is that he didn't get suspended. But I don't know. I can't say for a fact. Let me go ahead and let's roll into the next story. So the next story I'm gonna do is this Coldplay concert. This chick right here, she doing the most, okay? And it's coming through her friends, but I'm feeling like it's coming through her friends, but it's words that came out of her mouth. Let's take a listen. Let me look here. So let me X this out. So CEO and exec at Coldplay concert weren't having an affair, sources insist. This has been devastating for entire families. So these are real people and real families, says a source close to Kristin Cabot. The way people have taken a lot of enjoyment at the expense, it's hard to see. Well, there's a lot of people take an enjoyment out at the person's offense. The amount of memes that went on about Diddy, the amount of jokes that came through about this, baby oil. So I'm sorry, girlfriend, you got yourself into this. 2 months after the Dennis Straumann CEO, Andy Byron, was seen on camera at a Coldplay concert with Kristin Cabot, who was working as his company's chief police officer, a source close to Cabot is speaking out for the first time, to clarify the nature of their relationship. Byron, 51, had his arms wrapped around Cabot, 53, and then ducked out of view after being spotted by the so-called kiss cam. In recent weeks, new details have emerged about how Cabot was already divorcing her own husband before attending a concert with Byron. The former CEO is reportedly married as well, but the Cabot source insists she was not breaking up a marriage. Kriston and Andy Byron had an excellent working relationship, a great friendship. There was no affair, the source tells people. It was inappropriate to be hugging your boss at a concert, and she accepts full responsibility for it, the source says. But the scandal, the downfall, the loss of the job, all of that is unfair. The source is speaking now to correct what they call the many assumptions made after Byron and Cabot made international headlines for their reaction to being seen together during the Coldplay concert at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts on July 16th. That's her. Who's hooked up with their boss like that? Raise your hand if that's you. I doubt it. Once they realized they were on screen, Cabot covered her face as Byron tried to hide from view. The odd reaction prompted Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin to say from the stage, "Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. Y'all okay?" He then jokingly added, "Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy." The moment thrust two couples, Byron and his reported spouse, Megan, and Cabot and her husband, Andrew, into the spotlight, fueling countless memes and headlines. The tabloids began probing their private lives. Paparazzi tracked them down. Both Byron and Cabot soon left Astronomer, and the company said after Byron's resignation that our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability. And recently, that standard was not met. The source close to Cabot maintains that coverage of the incident itself spiraled far beyond the truth. It is important to note how inappropriately mislabeled Kriston has been as a home wrecker, says the source, who notes Byron and Cabot attended the concert with a group of friends. It's unfathomable to witness what has happened and how devastating it can be for not just individuals, but entire families, says the source. All I can think of is that this could happen to any us at any time. No. It ain't gonna happen to me because I'm not gonna be hugged up at a concert with somebody else's husband. Okay. And then if they was around a group of friends, shame on a group of friends too. I'm not hanging out with cheaters. But that's me. All I can think of is that this could have happened to any one of us. I think all of the misinformation has been the most mind-blowing to witness. She innocent. Tell her to go talk to Gail King and let's hear her side of the story. These are real people and real families, they say. The way people have taken a lot of enjoyment at their expense is hard to see. Cabot herself did not comment to people for this story. Byron has not spoken publicly and has not responded to multiple requests for a comment. At the time of the concert, Cabot and her husband were already separated. She went on to file for divorce on August 13th, requesting that the information about the proceedings remain private, and her spouse agreed. They are amicably separated and moving forward towards divorce, focus on their family, says the Cabot source, echoing what a spokeswoman for Cabot's husband previously told people in a brief statement. She has 2 kids from her first marriage. Her husband, the CEO of Privateer Rum, also has 2 kids from a prior marriage. Kriston and Andrew Cabot have been living apart, the Cabot source says, adding that on the night Cabot was seen with Byron, her husband was also at the Coldplay concert on a date. It was not a company event. Sources says the source, Byron and Cabot being together that night. There was no company box. It was a night with a big group of friends in an inappropriate moment. As for how Cabot is doing, the source says it's been hard for her to leave the house. She's been prioritizing her family. Her kids have been through a lot. Hold on one second. Her kids have been through, wait a minute. Her kids have been through let me see. I lost my space. Her kids have been through a lot. The controversy has stirred much discussion about the nature of privacy in a digital age. Kriston had people standing outside her car while she was picking her son up from work. Grown women laughing, taking pictures, pointing, the source says. It's been a tough thing to watch. Some of the attention was even more alarming, the sources says. In the first 3 days after the news broke, she had about 900 unalived threats on her phone. Now, I think that's messed up, the source said. And just overall, the mockery made of someone, the way people really seem to enjoy it and feel as though if somebody makes a mistake, public shaming is absolutely on the table as punishment. No longer having a job where she worked for 7 months was another blow. She resigned in late July, astronomers said at the time, days after Byron stepped down. Kristin is and always has been one of the hardest working women I ever met, says the source of Cabot, who had a career in advertising for 22 years and has been in tech since 2016. Despite some coverage focusing on Cabot and Byron's perceived wealth and status, says the source, she's been working since she was 15 years old. She's a self-made person. Right now, the source says Cabot is making sure her kids are okay, and that's going to take time. Kristin has a lot of family and friends around her that know who she really is and love her, and will all see her through this, the source says, adding it will take time. Well, Julius, your thoughts?
Yeah, but she did help break up a marriage.
That part.
Her boss was married, and his wife had to make a comment before deleting her social medias. But she made a scathing comment about reclaiming her life, about changing back to her maiden name and letting people know who she really was, and letting people know not only was he a bonehead outside in the street, he was a bonehead behind closed doors. But this helped her move forward. Quite honestly, she did old girl a favor, but she still broke up a marriage. And I love it how these side pieces want to play victim just because they received some unkind words. Like, I didn't know he was married. And, it wasn't like that. They always say that. We all knew he was married. He knew he was married because when the cam first shined on him, why did he duck and leave her standing there looking like a fool deer in headlights? He knew the jig was up, and he knew that his wife wasn't for play. She wasn't going to put up with it. She wasn't going to put up with public humiliation. And for a point of record, it came out recently from her soon to be ex-husband's ex-wife that she was his mistress from his first marriage. So you cheated with your soon to be ex-husband, but now you cheating with your boss. See, you lose them how you get them. However the saying goes. But see, the thing about it is, you did break up a marriage. But what's not happening now is the excuses are not believable. You know how to play the game, but it's not holding up weight. That's it.
Thank you, Julius. 48, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's funny that they think that we're like stupid. He was giving her a hug from the back, and his whole right hand and left hand was cupping her boobs. Like, come on, man. Like, come on.
Okay.
And then you say that she had 2 kids before she got remarried again.
Mhm.
I think old girl is just a whore. She likes you for a little while. If you ever seen Martin, you seen that episode when Pam got engaged to this really rich guy, and he was like, yeah, we could be together for about 2 years, but after that, I got to move around. I don't stay in love. That's the kind of vibes that this lady give me. And like Julia said, for her to act like she didn't know, Girl, you work, y'all so good of friends that
That
you
part.
didn't know that this man was married. Girl, to thy own self be true, boo.
Mm.
So these whores today need to go back and talk to the old whores, because at least some of those women got houses and, college stuff for the kids and stuff. These young whores of today got the game all messed up.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. When she's saying that she didn't know he was married, girl, you work for this man. How you didn't know this man was married? And now you got your friend on the internet talking about you was a good person and all this and all that. And if you're a good person with all this and all that, then nobody will have to come out and say anything. You was caught cheating, whether you want to admit it or not. We seen it. Everybody seen it. And your boss is not going to be hugged up on you like that if he's not having no type of relationship with you. Because what other man going to hug up on a woman if he's not getting something out of it? And then you said your husband was at the concert as well. This is some crazy mess. Did we see the husband at the concert? No, but we did see you. And the wife that he knows, she saw him. So he lost out, lost the job, and so did you. So you was out there playing house and doctor, and now you looking for jobs because they're millionaires or whatsoever, but still. And you saying that your kids and stuff being affected. Didn't nobody do this. You did this to your children. We didn't tell you to be at the concert and back lovey dovey and got on the Megatron, whatever the name of that thing is. So you brought this on yourself. How can we feel sorry for you? We can't feel sorry for somebody who normally knowing that what they was doing was wrong. Sorry, you put your own self in that fire. Now get your a cold tub of water and bring yourself out because we can't do it. That's all I got.
Woo, thank you, Katrina. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I miss y'all. Yes, I do. Listen, it sounded to me like it was a pack of hoes at that event. Her friend sounded like a street hoe. The man was a whore. Her ex-husband a hoe. She a hoe. Ain't none of them got no values. They probably was swapping out and all this stuff. What kind of friend get up here and talk about she been working since she was 15? What kind of work was she doing? Because I was working since I was 14. Ain't nobody giving me no medal. And that's no reason for me to be going after somebody else's husband, especially my boss. If you wasn't so busy going down on your boss, you might still be getting a paycheck today.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what she was doing. So the people said, you can't work here no more. Because you're going to be going down on the next guy. We ain't got that kind of money. We can't have that kind of liability. So for how many years? 40 years she's been sexing it up with bosses in the workplace? Shame on you. You knew you had children before you was with this man.
Woo.
So now you know. Now you know. And then you got your friend. Your friend got to be a hoe. She been running with you for 40-something years. She got to be. She ain't had nothing better to do but write this whole little narrative about how good you are. Was she there with you when you was cheating on your husbands? Was she there with you when you was embarrassing your children? Because she was all happy and everything one moment. Now her life is miserable. She says, y'all calling her up. She got 900 threats. Girl, you're lying.
Oh my God.
Come on. But she had time to sit and count 900 threats? She's a liar. Put it like this.
And how
she's
they got a phone number?
And a whore. And she's an adulteress.
And how they get a phone number? Be for real, girl.
Right, come on now. And let's throw this in. She's an unfit mother. And her friend need to go sit on the sideline somewhere and shut up. Don't be putting out no more testimonies, okay? Because if you was a good friend, you would have said to her, you don't need to be out here with this guy. Come sit next to me. No, but no. So now the money's gone. Let's be clear. It's about economics. She's out of a job and nobody's hiring her. And so she told her friend, I ain't got no money. Can you loan me some money? You know I'm tight. I'm waiting for the divorce money to come through. Blah, 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 blah. And her friend feeling bad. Let them two hoes go on the street and get them $3. I'm done.
Ooh, child. In my
Welcome back to the train, Felicia.
mm, in my opinion, you there?
So I'm tired of the side pieces of the world trying to come out and tell us how good of a person they are. If you was a good person, you wouldn't have opened your leg to a married man.
Mm,
If you was a good person, you would have been taking care of your kids instead of taking care of this grown man that got a wife. If you was a good person, you wouldn't have been out at a concert with somebody else's man. So all this, I'm a good person. I'm so tired of that's the first thing everybody want to say. Well, I'm sorry. We don't give out awards for good persons.
mm,
And as much as she want to put up that she's the good person, you weren't a good person to this woman that you was sneaking around with her husband.
whew.
You weren't a good person because you was sleeping with your boss that you was supposed to keep it copacetic with, but you didn't do that.
Mm.
You crossed the line. So I don't want to hear nothing else from these people. And he's just as disgusting because it takes two to tango. He's disgusting too. He ain't a good person either because he took those vows. He said those vows. And if you wanted you another woman, then you got to get rid of the first one first. But he too dumb to see that. And she a dumb hoe, a crazy hoe, and a stupid hoe. So play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Well, boom, there it is. Whew, good God. Wayne?
What it is, she pissed off because ain't nobody buying her story. Nobody buying those crocodile tears. And like 48 said, the way he had those boobs cupped, look under her hand. He had them right under there, just like he had them cupped. Perfect. And how can she say, what would you think people would think of you and they see you with another man? The other thing too, she ain't break up crap. That marriage was broke up already. He just hadn't left. If he was willing to do that and lay with her, the marriage was already broke up.
Oh my gosh.
Whether his wife knew about it or not. So
Good
she ain't break up nothing. Now she's labeled a hoe, which she is. This ain't her first rodeo. And I don't think it's his either. Somebody else would have come along. He'd offered gifts and all this stuff and got the same thing. It's always somebody else. Now she's the fool. Now you ain't got pot to piss in, no window to throw it out of. He may lose his marriage, but he's still going to be okay. And you on the sidelines. That's it.
Diva just had a thought. She said her husband was there with another woman, right? I wonder did her husband pay the people to make sure they was on the Megatron?
No, they just got caught. That Megatron looks for people that are booed up or hugged up or look like they together, and then they span the camera on them and have them and ask them to kiss. It happened for a reason. That wife that did had no clue. She needed to get her final answer, and she did in a very unfortunate way. The train is rocking tonight. Okay. No love for the side chicks. So I'm gonna roll into this last story. Diddy sentencing is
Is they not in the state where she could sue the mistress for alienation of affection?
I don't know. But Diddy sentencing is October the 3rd, which is right around the corner. What is that? Like, what is that? Is that about 10 days away? So 10 days away or something like that is right around the corner. And his lawyers put in their recommendation for what they feel the judge should give him in terms of time. And they said they are recommending 14 months, which will mean that soon after, because by October something, he would have served a year and 1 month. Okay. So that would mean he would just have 3 more months and would be home by the end of the year or something like that. if the judge goes by this 14-month recommendation. And they had thus far, about 70 letters, people speaking out for Diddy. His sister spoke, all the kids spoke. Mama Cone spoke, okay? Mama Cone says she need her baby boy because he's the only one that love her and take care of her, right? So the people spoke out on his behalf. Young Miami spoke. Let me go ahead and share a screen. Let's get into this story. Is it this one I want to share? I think it's this one. So these celebrities want leniency for Diddy's sentencing. So exes, including Young Miami, Dallas Austin, and other music industry names, have written letters in support of Diddy ahead of his sentencing. See what they say. So Sean Diddy Combs' family and friends and exes are coming to his defense ahead of his sentencing. Combs' team released letters on Tuesday, September 23rd, in support of the rap mogul as he awaits sentencing in his federal sex crimes trial. On July 2nd, the embattled music mogul was acquitted of his most serious racketeering, conspiracy, and ex-trafficking charges, and convicted of lesser counts of transportation to engage in P charges in the bombshell split decision. Combs' mother and children, former employees, ex-girlfriends, including City Girls rapper Young Miami and record producers Dallas Austin and Stevie J, have all issued letters backing the Bad Boy Records founder and requesting leniency from the judge. Here's what Combs' family and friends are saying in his defense. When is Combs' sentencing date? Combs' team recommended Judge Aron Summeranian hand down 14 months of prison time when he is sentenced on October the 3rd. Prosecutors' recommendation is likely to follow. U.S. attorneys have said Combs could face 51 months to 63 months in prison under federal sentencing guidelines, while the defense has said the same guidelines instead suggest a 2-year sentence. Young Miami records Diddy relationship, him opening doors for Black people. Carisha Brownlee, known as rapper Young Miami, wrote her letter in support of Combs after the couple dated from 2021 to 2024. Though she emphasized she cannot speak on or defend anything that may have happened before I met Combs, she said the rapper producer is loving, genuine, and motivating. The City Girls MC added, "He helped me grow both personally and professionally." Brownlee has a podcast, Carisha Please, on the Combs founded network, Revolt. She noted the producer also took her to her first Met Gala, saying the event showed that Combs made it a priority to open doors for Black people to make sure we are seen, heard, and valued in spaces where we historically been excluded. She also cited his generosity, including when the former couple fed the homeless on Thanksgiving 2022, and the inner work he has done. He made the choice to check himself into anger management, start therapy, and commit to physical healing through therapy, she said. That takes strength, humility, and self-awareness. Dallas Austin toots Diddy's positive influences in music. Dallas Austin, a producer who has worked with Madonna, TLC, Lionel Richie, and Boyz II Men, voices the support of Brother Combs, telling Summerania of the contributions to music and helping shape the careers of many. As a friend, I look at the positive influences that he had on the music business, he said. I think back on our conversations of how to become a better man. He specifically asked me how he could become a better person. He can give back and get involved with community. Stevie J records mutual challenges with anger and drugs. Stevie Jordan is Combs' longtime collaborator and former Bad Boy Records producer who has worked with artists including Beyonce, Mariah Carey, the Notorious B.I.G., Jodeci, Faith Evans, and Jay-Z. Jordan said Combs changed my life ever since meeting at a record studio in the 1990s. He said aside from Combs' professional influence, personally, the businessman became a close friend. He cited Combs paying for nearly all of his father's funeral expenses as an example of the type of heart that he possesses. Being in this entertainment business for 30 years and being friends with Sean, we both endured personal challenges with anger and drugs, he continued. I'm proud of Sean. I've read in the press that he's clean and sober and also taking anger management therapy to become a better person, because we all fall short as long as we correct ourselves and never revert back to our old ways. Janice Combs, Diddy's mom, says she doesn't know how much longer I'll be around. Combs, 84 years old mother Janice Combs, told the judge in her letter that she wants to spend the last few years of her life with my son, she added. Unfortunately, my son has made some terrible mistakes in his life, which I know he recognizes. She later cited her grandchildren's sleepless nights without their father and her various health issues, saying, I don't know how much longer I will be around, but I would love to be able to see him and his children together again. Sarah Chapman, Dana Chan, Quincy Brown, more plead for leniency. Businesswoman Sarah Chapman, the mother of Combs' oldest daughter, Chance Combs, made her case for the music mogul, highlighting his generosity and how much family means to him, including acting as his mother's primary caretaker. She also said that due to being incarcerated since September, the Bad Boy Records founder has a much clearer mind. Speaking with Sean while he's been incarcerated, I recognize someone who is much calmer and drug-free with a clear mind, she noted. I believe that after this year in prison, it has been the only time that he has had a break from his past lifestyle and is now focused on what truly matters. Model Dana Tran, the mother of Combs' seventh child, 2-year-old daughter Love Sean Combs, said their daughter is at a critical stage of development and that his absence has taken a noticeable toll. I do not seek to excuse past mistakes, but I wholeheartedly believe that allowing Sean the chance to be present for his child will not only strengthen their bond, but also inspire him to continue making positive choices in the future, she added. Quincy Brown, the son of the late model Kim Porter and singer Albie Shore, who Brown refers to as his biological father, noted Combs stepped in as the only father in my life for as long as I can remember, and in a way that no one else could have. Combs adopted Brown as a child. Now we'll leave that alone, but many people say no, he did not. Haven't ever experienced the love of the Father before then. It was all so foreign to me, he continued. I didn't know that I was the recipient of a man's love. That is, until I began to witness the love that he had for my mother. Brown reflected on the death of his mother and how much closer her children and Combs have grown in her absence. My pops isn't a perfect man, but he is a dedicated father with a heart that we're lucky to know, he said. He loves his children and would do anything for us. Claudine De Niro, the ex-wife of Robert De Niro's son, Rafael De Niro, put forth her support as a former personal concierge, the travel agent and real estate broker who is dating Cuba Gooding Jr., said Combs has been a mentor and is a man whose actions towards me and others have always been grounded in kindness, generosity, and care. So, but remember I told you it's about 70 people that I know of at this moment that wrote a letter. Julius, your thoughts?
Golly. But I think this. If he is a clear mind, what is stopping him from reverting to old habits? You know, everyone is always clean just to get what they want. Now, I'm going to be frank, this was a weak case to begin with. The prosecution really didn't have any evidence. It was more so a mockery. But like how we talked about over here, this was for his good. And I'm going to speak on the spiritual piece. This was for his good to clean him up off of those substances. Not to excuse the past, but to weed out the substances. Now, it's up to the judge. I don't care either way. Because I have PTSD from this whole case. And all I hear about is, well, yeah, he was, but Cassie being the main person. So, but I don't care either way.
48, your thoughts?
I think that, like, even from the beginning, I think that him sitting in the jail was good for him. But I think that if I was the judge, I would make him go to like a halfway house as well, a real strict one with rules where, yeah, he can do work and all of that, but then he also has to conform to the drug test, whatever other counseling they say he needs. Because if he's admitting that this is the cleanest he's been, a year ain't enough. And we just gonna be real. And then on top of that, this isn't a clean that he pursued. This is a clean that was forced upon him. So like Julia said, I don't think that, you know, I just don't think that it's a good idea for him if the judge is just looking at what he's charged for, right? 'Cause the judge can sentence him to time, they can sentence you to different things to help you out. If I was a judge, I think that the time in there is enough, but he needs maybe a year or 2 years of outpatient where he's in a facility and getting help. Another thing that threw me off, and I call cap, is all these people talking about how generous Diddy is. But then these people also saying that he's a crook, he stole songs, he don't pay people. I think that it does him a disservice to me. It's just to just be real, like a couple of them that you read, they said, they're not gonna say anything about like the bad things that he's done. He's done bad things. But I think everyone should have like said that. Like they're making it seem like he's this perfect guy and he's not. And even though he wasn't convicted of the things that they were saying that he was doing at first, the things that they were saying in their letters were kind of like saying like he isn't this kind of person. He doesn't drug people, he doesn't do this, but he was doing that, but they didn't find him guilty of that. If you get what I'm saying, Diva.
So I'm not on the train with you. So let me say this. Nobody's perfect. I'm gonna say that, right? And have you ever had a friend, now not even a romantic partner, where with this person they go out drinking, and with that person they never drink, and this person never heard that person curse, but other people like, girl, she cursed like a sailor. So different people bring out different things in different people. And all I think Young Miami was saying was that the person, I can't speak to who he was to other people because none of us ever can. She's speaking to how he was with her. And with her, he was very generous because he was giving her $300K a month. So he was very generous to her, right? In terms of other things, I'm not rolling with that he was drugging people. I'm not, because there was no proof at all that he drugged anybody. When drug addicts get together, what happens is they usually all drug. Listen, the people that got on the stand, I think it was one of the bodyguards. He said, we were all Diddy bopping. And they said, what's Diddy bopping? We was drinking and drugging. And I'm paraphrasing it, but that's what he said. I got to go by with the people who were there saying. That same guy said he got into it with the chef. And he was in the chef face. I can't remember exactly if he said he put his hands on the chef or whatever. He said Diddy came to him and said, yo, you can't be talking to ladies like that. You got to go apologize to her. He took a blunt to her as an apology. If you come in to apologize to Diva, would you bring a blunt? You will only bring a blunt if you know that's how I get down. So what I'm saying is everybody in that circle was doing the substances. And when you do the substances, you're going to act a straight fool, because 9 times out of 10, those things take you out of your mind and out of the person that you would normally be if you wasn't on it. So, I mean, did he take music and people didn't have the rights to their song or whatever? I'm a roll with, he probably did. But guess what? I'm a also roll with. There's no producer or record company in the industry, and I don't care if you speak to artists from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, who did not have Diddy as a producer. They all going to say they don't own the rights to their music. They was cheated, they was stolen from, or whatever. I think what happens in this world is, and I'm not saying it was right, but I think what happens in this world is when you work for a black person, and if they do the same thing that somebody else do to you, you are taking it to the 10th power and they're the devil. But yet you left the devil's den and was getting treated the same way, and you ain't got nothing to say about that person over there. There is not a record company where the people wasn't stolen from. Pebble stole from TLC. I mean, the list goes on and on. James Brown talked about how the people stole from him, and then he started to do his own thing. Go ahead.
I can agree with that, Diva. And you're right. They didn't prove that Diddy did that, like drugged anybody. But I just felt like they're making it seem like he's just this perfect guy. And the guy that I even saw as a young, like 20-year-old on MTV, I just was like, oh my God, I could never, ever, like, even if I wanted to join the band, I don't think I could handle how he talked to people and how he do people. But just going off of what he's in prison for, I do think that he's learned his lesson as far as getting those luxuries taken away. But I think the judge does need to focus on his drug abuse and put him into something that can help him with that. You know what I'm saying? Where he could, at least take a breath. Because like you said, they didn't prove anything, and he shouldn't be in there for a long time for people wanting to participate in acts with him. Even if it's drugs, drink, or whatever, if everybody wanted to participate, he shouldn't be punished that severely for it. But for the drugs, I do believe so. Out of his own mouth, he said that this the cleanest he's been, and Diddy's in his 50s. And my mother passed away still a drug addict in her 50s. So like Julia said, it's a good thing for him.
Yeah, addiction is a beast. And it will call your name. And they also tell you, but I don't want to get too off the beaten path. They also tell you, you can't go and see and do the same things that you did before, because you're more likely to quicker fall right back into that addiction. I'm praying for him. I wish him well. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. Some of the people that, I know they're good at it whatsoever, but some of the people that wrote those letters, I hope the prosecution don't look in their background as well. But with him being locked up and all that time, yes, you're clean now. But hopefully when you get out, you don't go back to the place where you were, because that's where those triggers gonna kick in, and you're gonna want to do it again. Because see, the reason why he's not doing it now, because you're locked up. It's like when you have people in rehab, they can't get to the substances, so they saying they clean and stuff. But if you don't have a strong mind and a strong will, you'll go right back to it. It's all about getting your higher power, seeking your higher power whatsoever. And hopefully the letters will help him. But I think somebody else behind that Wizard of Oz curtain that's pulling the strings. Because as we said, yes, he did these things. We didn't see him do these things, but he wasn't convicted of those things. So for that judge to hold him in there like that, yeah, he probably saved his life on holding him in like that because of the substances. But it's something else beyond that. And hopefully we'll see what happened to him on October the 3rd. And if he does get out, I hope he go seek therapy, because like I said, when you go back to the places where you were, those triggers going to kick in, and it's going to be stronger. And then this time your body is without those substances in there, and you thinking you can do the same amount that you did. That's when they have the overdose. So hopefully he'll go to the doctor. Go into therapy or do what he needs to do to get himself straight. That's all I got.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, Lord have mercy. You know what? This is why I don't come up here no damn more. Because this is bullshit.
Oh, God.
Okay, now let's get it clear, because we know the facts. At least I do.
Talk. Come on, talk to us.
Mr. Combs was not found guilty of dealing or selling substances of any kind.
You better talk to the people.
So he wasn't there and inside the jail because he was selling or doing the substances. Number one.
Come on now.
Number two, there are no victims of his guilty on the prostitution.
Come on.
And there's certainly, as of this day, right now, no victim under 18. I don't see a 9-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 13-year-old, 16-year-old. So he hired people to engage in sexual activity with his girlfriends. And they were doing the substances. All of them, except for one of them, allegedly. And he was found guilty. Now, on a federal level, they don't even have an average time spent incarcerated for having been found guilty on that, because it is highly unusual that you are locked up because you were found guilty on federal charges of prostitution. And on a state or city level, it's considered a misdemeanor. You get a fine, you pay it, and you go home, and you do it again if you want to. I just can't believe that all these people where I live doing dope ain't off the street and locked up in rehab. Since when? Since when have we gotten to a place where jail is now rehab? I mean, really, hear yourselves. If the judge wanted him to do rehab he said he had a propensity for violence. And that is addressed here, that he's going somewhere for anger management and I guess for beating people in the head. Okay? That should be enough for this judge. It has been 14 months too many for what has been done here to him. Oh, well, we know the people in the industry said they didn't get paid, they didn't get this. Well, they could have brought that in under the RICO charges. They could have gotten him there.
Talk to the people now.
But they didn't bring that in. They didn't bring it in. They didn't bring in tax evasion because he pays his taxes. They didn't bring in child support because he takes good care of his kids. Be damned. If Young Miami says this is her experience with him, I'm going to accept it because I don't know him. I've never even spent any time in the same space with him. But she has. Now, if they wanted something called the truth from her because maybe her letter is not spilling her guts, they could have called her into the courtroom. They called them other liars up in there.
Woo, child. Oh, my God. Okay.
But maybe they didn't want to hear her version up there. Maybe they didn't want to hear her experiences. There is no doubt in my mind that man is incredibly generous. Even the accountant said, well, I didn't really like working, but he's a generous guy. Nobody said that they didn't get paid. Let's talk about the people not getting paid. And damn it, don't let me go into Charlie Sheen with all of the drugs and the violence and making people sick and passing on diseases. It's just too much. The children being taken away and all that stuff. He's running around here writing a book, doing a movie, and talking about he going on tour again. We are so harsh on ourselves and to one another. 32% of Black men in this country have been incarcerated or are incarcerated. And we're sending them there because we're into our feelings. I feel like they should have said more of the truth. Well, how about the sitting president of the United States? Can somebody talk the truth about that?
Oh, my God.
Come October 3rd, if the judge wants to have a career that means something, he better get righteous and do the right thing.
Come on, talk.
Because enough is enough. I'm done.
Woo, woo. Well, you spoke though. You spoke. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I'm gonna respect that. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So
Okay, we appreciate you. Wayne, your thoughts?
I like to see him get out on the 3rd because I think he served enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he can do 14 months. What's another month? I think they should have whatever, if we're going to do what they were saying, like halfway house or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like Felicia said, nobody's in jail this long. And still, to be honest, I don't even know what he did. I mean, after the trial, since there's nothing with the trial, what he's initially in jail for, I really still don't know. But I don't think the judge is going to be impressed by them letters. I think the judge already got his mind made up. I don't know what it could be, but I think he already has his mind made up. I don't think, what would you expect the people to say or his family to say? Oh, my father was a bad dad sometime. No.
Right.
It's going to be everything good. So, I mean, what do you, I think judge, what do you, I would expect them to say good things about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the judge already got his mind made up what he's going to do. But I hope that it would be, if it's the 14 months and he got to play the 14 months out, so be it, or time served. I know, people saying that, going in a familiar place, they may relapse, Well, I'd like to believe enough that he's been in jail long enough. Maybe he's learned some humility. I don't think he would go back into this, because all you need is one person to say, oh, Diddy did this. I think he's kind of learned his lesson. I would like to think that with all this time that hey, I'm not the king. I was almost put away for a long, long time. So I think this might be a humbling experience for him. And I think the time served. That's it.
I think time served. And of course, who writes a character letter to say the person is a bad person? Nobody. That's not the point of writing a character letter. I will also say this: there's something to be said that, you didn't really hear much about his kids. The kids don't seem like they on substances and spazzing out. And there's some other celebrity kids that we can't say the same. We heard about them. The substances, down and out. The parents didn't give them no money, didn't share the money with them. Do you know
Bush's daughters?
Listen, but there's so many. I'm not even going to name to be hating on these kids like that. But there's a ton of kids out there that is wilding out and said the parents ain't do nothing for me, didn't give me nothing. Every kid of his that wanted to go to college, he paid for the college bill. So there's something to be said about that. And listen, y'all want to see some real stuff? Go to Netflix and watch that Charlie Sheen documentary. It was interesting. And again, I'm not telling anybody to label somebody a certain way, because y'all know I don't even do that over here. But not once did they call Charlie a monster. Did they call him a disgraced actor? Did they say anything bad about this man? And he did the most. And even his own co-workers said he did the most. And they're praising him. Now he got a book out, about to go on tour, got a 2-part Netflix special. And he's diagnosed with HIV. And he claims that he never, ever gave anybody any disease. But this whole time, they pumped out in the street that there was minors. We ain't see a minor. They pumped out in the streets that he was drugging the people. Drugs was in the baby oil, all this. And Cassie had to come out her mouth herself. But that fell on deaf ears. Cassie came out of her own mouth and said there was no drugs in the baby oil. Cassie said that. I told y'all before they even played a video in that courtroom that not a near person looked like they was forced to take a substance, because if they were, they would have been told us that. Mark told us, Diddy lawyer, that he saw the tapes and all it was All it was people having relations, looking like they having fun. Nobody looked like they was forced. Nobody looked like they was running to the door and got dragged back. And nobody looked like he came over and said, open your mouth, and he was plucking the substances in your mouth. They put 20 on 10 on this case, and they dragged his name through the mud in the media. Do you think it's not a coincidence? Well, all of a sudden, because a jury said he's not guilty, now all of a sudden there's no news stories about him? Y'all think that's a coincidence? They was banking on and trying to take this man's money. Because like his own lawyer said, when they looked at the taxes, after they raided his home and they didn't find anything, they went left. They said, well, let's look at the taxes. When they looked at his taxes and saw the man paid his taxes, then they tried to find something else. They dug up Kid Cudi. If somebody is a gangster, you don't have to go back to the crimes they did 10 years ago. You can go for the crimes they did in 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. They went back 10 years and talked about a half blown up car. And if y'all ever notice, everybody that got on that stand, at the end, they pretty much said they love Diddy. So why would you not be okay with hearing 70 people saying he's a good guy? Because even the people that said they was done dirty said he was a good guy. The people was inviting him to weddings, baby showers, saying they sorry. I can't, y'all. I followed the case, but listen. Felicia, you want to say something about the closeout?
Yeah, I do. I want us to look into ourselves and see why is it we want to put each other in jail all the time. Why we want to lock each other up? A year's not enough time. He got enough money to go to the best rehabs in the world. Let him go do that, if that's what he want to do. But this piece here, and these young people that got up on that stand and lied and told all kind of stories and twisted things around, where are their consequences for the lying that they did? And as Mark said in that courtroom, he was being good to his girlfriend, helping her have shelter for her baby, because her baby father wasn't about nothing. It's a shame. It's a shame. Mm-hmm. And hopefully when he come out next month, he's going to be smarter. And he's not going to be running around with all these people who need all of this money, because he was just a bank, just giving out cash. Them 2 security guards got $100,000. They never even blinked an eyelid. They didn't even go to the employer. They ain't say nothing. They went and got a new car and they was happy. Happy. So it just, every time I think about it, the setup, and then I hear folks talking about, well, you know, Maureen called me. She got let go because her daddy and the president got problems. Bullshit. They've been had problems.
Come on, you better talk, Felicia.
$500 million she wasted. And she wondered why she can't get hired. She right up there with that woman. What's her name? The one from the camera cam. The two of them out here looking for work.
Kristin Cabot is her name.
Both of them are out here because they made bad choices. They made very bad choices. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the judge, he think there's no Maureen ain't there no more, judge. You don't have her there, no more to blame. He's gonna have to fix this, whether he likes it or not, or else he'll go to traffic court. And I don't mind he having to go to traffic court because we don't need him up there anymore. His jury instructions were despicable and illegal.
Illegal. If I pass you a piece of Tylenol one time, I'm a drug dealer, you have got to do, and then told the people don't look it up.
And don't look it up.
This whole thing was egregious. He needs to be out. And you know what more better? You better talk. So we want, and you never heard not one person call this singer David, and I'm not saying they should. You never heard one person call this one a monster. You got a whole body that they actually found. We did not find the minors, but you got a whole body in the trunk of his Tesla, and he's somewhere eating chicken right now. He left his house. You want a minor? She was a minor when he met her. The world is so full of crap. One person we gonna swear 10 toes down they was with the minors, but we ain't produced not a minor. You got right here somebody that was with a minor and they still walking around free, and we got to get this thing together. He did a whole video, this David. He got a song with a whole video where he unalives somebody, drags the body, and put the body in the trunk of a car. Listen, we could, y'all got me started because y'all know I could be on this all night. All I'm going to say is for the crime that he allegedly committed. You want to know something wild? Going back to this Charlie Sheen documentary, Charlie Sheen, out of his own mouth, said he paid for the workers from that famous Madam Heidi Fleiss. This is something that Hollywood do. They have these threesomes, they have these orgies, they pay for the people, they pay for the drugs. And like somebody said in the chat, Diddy even asked the drug dealer to stop selling the drugs to Cassie, because I'm taking it Cassie got addicted like Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston friend said she to Mama Houston that, you know, I think Whitney liked the drugs too much. I think Cassie ended up liking them too much, and he tried to get the dealers to stop selling to her. In this Charlie Sheen documentary, the drug dealer said he started putting less drugs in Charlie Sheen's stuff to help wing him off the drugs. You can't make this stuff up. I said to myself, in what world can a drug dealer participate in the documentary and it's okay? But we want Diddy to be in jail for life because he bought some workers. But a drug dealer could sit on a Netflix documentary and say, yeah, I was giving him, I supplied him with all the substances. Listen, hit the like button, people. I got to go because y'all know once y'all get me started, I can't stop. But I appreciate y'all. He sure did. Cassie turned Diddy out because she said because she was with Ryan Laws. Listen, this whole thing in the Playboy Mansion, K&J. See, I gotta go, K&J. Don't get me started. The Playboy Mansion was a whole nother situation. Do you know that a major portion of the celebrities got in trouble over there at that Playboy Mansion? The only thing that saved what's his name, Hugh Hefner, is the fact that people came to him. So you couldn't say you was forced to come there, so forth and so on. But yeah, it was the underage girls at the Playboy Mansion. It was the substances at the Playboy Mansion. It was the overdoses at the Playboy Mansion. It was the people getting pregnant. It was the people Felicia, I gotta go. Why do people trying to get me started? Listen, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, do the diva a favor, hit it on the way out. We'll be here tomorrow night for trending topics. And you want to know something to see special play, don't do this. Let me say this last thing. With Jeffrey Epstein, what world do they do this in? Before they actually put him in jail, he was warned several years in a row. Knock it off with the young girls. Not 1 year, not 2, not 3. He was warned several years in a row because they knew what he was doing. They told him to knock it off with the young girls, but he couldn't stop. And then I want to say, when he first went to jail, they was letting him just do jail time on the weekends. Y'all gonna get me started. I'm closing now. Good night, y'all. Hit that like button. If you ain't hit it on the way in, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo
Here we
choo
go.
choo.